Good morning.
Good morning.
Friday, April the 13th, 2018. This is MAH00353, and I am your special guest instructor, Dr. David Z. Durant. My job here at the university is I am a professor and I'm the director of music theory and technology. I used to teach the freshman theory class, and then Dr. Franklin came, and that was about 75% of my job was freshman theory because it's so much trouble. There are so many of you, and the class is really appropriate for no one. You either already know it or you'll never get it. I mean, there's some problems there. You know, it's either too hard or too easy. And I felt like the state of Alabama could get someone else to teach the freshmen. And Dr. Franklin was called. So we're super grateful that he's here. He used to teach ear training too, and I like to do that, but you don't really need a doctorate in composition to teach ear training. You need to have a good ear, have some piano skills, and stuff like that. I think it's really important, ear training. That's one thing that you can do. It's not exactly theory, you know, it's just not. Is it perfect pitch? No. Anybody have perfect pitch? Anybody have a relative pitch? I think if I'm just like, if I think about, I think that's F and B flat. Didn't really seem like it though, did it? Maybe G. A little sharp in the morning, I guess. Okay. Do you have any questions? So should we just take the test or what? I have stuff. Would you like to distribute this to your classmates? I will read. Hi, David. Thanks again for being willing to fill in for me on Friday. I think they'll really benefit from having you fill in. I don't know. On Wednesday, I reviewed a quiz and their most recent homework with them. It took more time than I had expected, so I didn't quite get to where I wanted to. If you want to work with them on writing modulations, I think that would be fine. I've included a worksheet that you can use if you choose. They should know the basic formula for constructing a modulation regarding cadence structure and pivot chords. This is crucial to how they complete their final projects. Crucial. Did you get that? That was highlighted. Not really. Crucial. Remind them that they have a test next Friday, April 20th, and homework due on Monday, April the 16th. You'll have a test next Friday, April the 20th, and homework due on Monday. If you all got your homework done, is it easy to do? You're welcome to use this stuff or do your own thing. I'm going to stand next to the speakers and dance. That's my own thing today. There in, oh, I'm not reading the rest. Commentary on. Okay, how about the roll? Does he generally call the roll, or does he actually know who you are?
He knows.
Oh. Rice. Oh, I can check this off. Rebecca. Brandon. Holly. Jack. Ruby. Ruby here. Tyler. Emily. Josh. Monica. Monique. Victoria. Kenneth. Oh, we were doing so well. Golden. Amanda. Timothy. Malcolm. Apparently everyone is last name starts with F or below. Christian. There we go. We got one. Jaleel. No. Alexis. Nicholas. Gail. Brent.
Here.
Brant.
Wow.
Joseph.
Here.
Ayesh.
Here.
Is that close? Ayush. Clark. Allison.
Here.
KP.
Here.
Janaea.
Here.
Is that close?
It's Janaya.
Janaya. Asia. Cameron. Randy.
Here.
Timothy T.
Here.
Sarah. Israel. Lily.
Here.
Lataya. Catherine. Christopher.
Here.
Oh, that was most of class right there, wasn't it? Okay, do you have a thing?
Yep.
Okay. Now, we're gonna modulate to C major. I think that was your job with the thing, all right?
While I'm getting my mind.
Okay, we're gonna modulate C major to A minor. Is that a closely related key? Yes, that is. How many closely related keys are there? That's correct. Now, what's the difference between C major and A minor?
The tonic.
Right, G sharp is correct. So, otherwise, we need to find a pivot chord. So I think what Dr. Franklin wants here is a cadence in C and then a modulation to A. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see if I can keep vocal style. Oop, already failed. Okay. Okay, what chords do you think this is? Okay, so this is going to be 1, this is going to be 5, so we're going to do that, right? Potentially, we could make it 5-7. I believe that the way this looks is cadential 6-4 to 5, like that. Okay? So we already kind of know what that is, yes? Now we might want to mirror that over cheer and that. So what chord is this? I propose that this chord would be a predominant. Okay? What are predominants? They're the 4 chord, 2 chord, 2 6, 2 6 5, and 4 7. Also, so I could make this that, yes? And then this, we can decide what we want to do there. What would be the most entertaining for me would be to put a 6 5 there. You following along with me? And also, do you think this chord would more likely be a 7 chord or a 5 6 5 chord? Good. 5 6 5 or 5 6. 7 in root position is a challenging chord, and generally we use 7 in its first inversion as 7 6 or 7 6 5 or something like that. So I think this is best as 5 6, but it could be 5 6 5, and now we've really made this quite interesting, haven't we? So the next thing we have to choose for this part of the show is, what is the position of the soprano? Well, we describe that as root, third, or fifth, right? And if I write it in, say I use the note C3 in the soprano, is that going to make that an open or closed position chord? Probably. Probably. So, how about this? Open. Okay, that's position of the third. So now, here's what I want to think about. If I'm really going to write 5 6 5, what note is going to be in the soprano? Do I have another choice besides D? Yeah. Okay, and what else? Nothing, really. The inversions of 5 7, all 4 chord tones are present in all the inversions, correct? So we already have 1 chord tone. Do you think that we would keep a common tone here? I think so. I think so. So now, tell me, what note is in the soprano?
F.
That's right, and we spell that A, just like that. A. Have I made? Oh dear!
Oh dear.
Got 2 B's.
Or not 2 B's. This is a magic pen that erases and writes and sticks. How many music education majors do we have here today? Okay. So you've actually learned something helpful today. There are whiteboard markers that will stick. Because this has this black thing, and this is the white thing, and it sticks. It's like glue or something. But if you put it on the black part, see, it won't stick. It has to be on. Wasting your time. All right, so I believe that should be that. Now, what's going to happen next? Only one thing can happen here. We have to resolve the inversions of 5, 7 in a particular way. And if I do that, what happens to the next note? Can you say something theoretical about the next chord? Okay, let me say this. It's the same as the first chord. Okay? Why? Because 7 goes to 1, 2 goes to 1, 5 goes to 5, and 4 goes to 3. In the inversions of 5, 7, that formula always exists, and you can transpose that formula when doing secondary functions to temporary tonics, couldn't you? Yes, you could. So what did I just say? 7 goes to 1, T goes to do. We know this, right? We know this. And we know that the 7th of the chord goes down always. Now, if we know this, we know that that's scale degree 4. Yes? 4 goes down to 3. Why? 4 goes down to 3. What can we say about the scale degree 4? What do we know about it?
The interval, when like 1 and 4 is a dissonant interval.
That's true. What else? What did we learn or were exposed to but maybe weren't infected by? What does scale degree 4 do? What do we call scale degree? Huh? That's right. A tendency tend. Where does it tend? To 3. Okay. 7 to 1, 4 to 3, 5 to 5, 2 to 1. Why does that not work for root position 5, 7? Where would 5 be in root position 5, 7?
Base.
Right. It would be that note in the bass, and if we went 5 to 5, we've just written a second inversion chord, and we might go to hell. So if you think the stakes are not large, think again. Okay, so if I'm calling this 6-5, that means it's 2-6-5, doesn't it? So what am I going to do? Keep the common tone, right? And probably do this, and then probably do that. Have I written any illegal or ineligible or really harmful things? I don't think so. I think we're all good there. Now, this is now the 7th of the chord, isn't it? How did I approach the 7th? Obliquely. Okay, what do 7ths often do? Go down. But in this case, it is being suspended as in a 4-3 suspension that's being realized as a cadential 6-4 chord. Yeah. What do we double? The bass. Okay, so there we have that. And I think, therefore I am, that I think a little 5-7 would be something. Now, we have a root position 5-7 chord here now, don't we? So how do we think about the root position 5-7 chord? We think of it in these ways. Is it a complete 5-7 chord? Is it an incomplete 5-7 chord? If it is a complete 5-7 chord, is the leading tone in the soprano? Okay, So that means you can resolve a complete chord to a complete one chord, a complete chord to an incomplete one chord, and an incomplete five chord to a complete one chord. So there are, accounting for voicing, 8 ways to resolve the dominant seventh chord in root position. Okay? Now what do we call these things that we hold true? We call them B, V, L, Ps. That means basic voice leading patterns. So we are not writing music. We are constructing basic voice leading patterns. Don't confuse theory with real things. Okay? Now, why do you want to be able to do basic voice leading patterns? So that you can expand a basic voice leading pattern to an instrumentally elaborated thing. What's that? A piece of music. Or you can take an instrumentally elaborated thing, a piece of music, and reduce it to its basic voice leading pattern. Why would you do this? Would it make you a better person? No. Would it make you a better performer? Not necessarily. Will it make you anything else? No. What is music theory and analysis and part writing all about? Why are we here? To better understand the beauty and the power of the music. It's an aesthetic thing. Okay? Why is music the greatest art? I can play this beautiful rendition of a basic voice leading pattern and hear it in real time and go, how lovely! But also, I could look at this one note as long as I wanted to and understand, or maybe not understand, but just enjoy the aesthetic beauty of that one thing as I look at it. Not as I hear it, but as I look at it. It is a plastic thing at that point. It is a real-time art. It is a plastic art. Okay? This is why music is so powerful. Is it a universal language? Everybody says yes. No. Everybody seemingly does music, but the music I write and enjoy and listen to is very different than people in other parts of the world. And outer space. So universal is a stretch. Okay, now, if I am resolving this, is this a complete 5/7 chord or an incomplete 5/7 chord? Is this a complete 5/7 chord or incomplete 5/7 chord? Complete. So, does it resolve to a complete or incomplete one chord?
Complete.
Okay. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's an example of a complete 5/7 chord going to an incomplete one chord. Okay? We understand that. This is also correct. That's a complete one chord. What did I do? Frustrated the leading tone. All right. Now, when will I decide? Well, I might wait for the next thing. Now, if I'm going to continue with a new phrase, I could just start in A minor, right? That would be a phrase modulation, but or direct modulation. Let's not do that, though. Let's have a pivot chord. Okay, what can you tell me about the pivot chord? Well, one thing you can tell me, it is diatonic in both keys, meaning it is represented in the old key and the new key the exact same way. It has a root third and a fifth without chromatic alteration. In terms of its function in the new key, what is the function in the new key of the pivot chord? What I heard was, what is the answer? What was the question? Okay, that's a good question. What is the function of the pivot chord in the new key? Yes.
To allow for a smooth transition from one key to the other.
Okay, when I say function, we think of three things as function in music. Tonic, tonic substitution, predominance of all kinds, and dominance and dominance substitutions. So what is the function of the pivot chord in the new key? If those are your
Predominant.
Predominant.
dominant, predominant. Okay, so what do predominants do? They come before dominance. So maybe I could do that. That would be predominant in the key of A minor. Yes? We have done so well so far. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a C, and then an E, and then an A, and then a D. In all of that, what is the pivot chord? The D. Okay, so what is my progression here? Well, the progression's still in C. Most likely it's this, 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 and then this, and then this, and then that. All right? Now, so before I write any notes, I already know what's going on, don't I? Now, this could be a different chord, but maybe not. Let's go back to this, and then this, and then if I do this, what have I done? What do we call what happened between the bass and the soprano? Voice exchange. Yes, that's exactly right. Now, if this is 6, what do I double? Yes, but I'm not. What? When do I double the third is when the 6th chord is a product of deception. When the 6th chord is a product of something else, it's not a tonic substitution, is it? So the bass motion is one of a fifth, even though the root motion is not. So maybe now I have a choice. Which C? Okay, let me do this. Was that good part writing? This is a binary question, meaning it has one of two answers. Yes or no. Is that correct part writing? If no, why no? If yes, why yes? Or not why yes, because it's yes. Let me ask you again. Does my part writing from beat 2 to beat 3 contain a part writing error?
The voice leading in the soprano, normally you're supposed to leave a leap in the opposite direction that you approach it by step.
Possibly, Possibly, although I have outlined the new tonic, but that is a good point. Yes, in the back?
Could you have possibly have created a direct fifth?
No, I did create a direct fifth. So those of you who didn't see that, think of a suitable punishment and do that when you're alone, okay? All right, what's a direct fifth? Doesn't matter what the bass does, step or leap. It has to be similar motion with a leap in the soprano. Did we achieve that? Yes, we did. We have failed as part writers. I wanted it. So maybe this is the C to keep, and this is a direct octave with the bass, but that's okay. It's in the tenor. We love it. We love that. Okay, now 6 to 2, and now D. You can do this. I know you can. Is that a direct octave between the bass and the soprano? I'll help you out here. No, the soprano steps. We need another note. How about that? Now, here comes the fun part. What we're really doing is resolving this note to G sharp, okay? But we're gonna treat it as an extension by using this suspension that we call the cadential 6/4 chord. Now let me just help you out here. Now, if let's pretend that I didn't have that C, I just went directly to the B. Now that's a 5 chord with a 4/3 suspension, right? So do you see the relationship between the cadential 6/4 chord and a suspended 5 chord? If you think of this C as passing to the B and the A as suspended to the G sharp, and this is really the dominant being doubled. So that's why we think of the cadential 6/4 chord as a suspended dominant, and that's why we call it a dissonant 6/4 chord. Yes? Do you know the 4 dissonant 6/4 chords? We know one, cadential 6/4. First one you learned, neighbor 6/4 or pedal 6/4?
Yeah.
Neighbor. What else? Passing 6/4? Yes? And PSB, passing over stationary bass?
We didn't learn that.
That's not really good. No, yeah, it was pedal 6/4.
No, pedal 6/4 is also a neighbor 6/4. Passing over stationary bass is passing over stationary bass. Maybe we won't go into that today. The truth. Too shameful. Okay. We might have just, ooh, how about this? What do we call this D now? Right, a passing 7. At this point, it becomes a 5/7 chord. You see the dot? Okay, and then the D would go where? The D would go where?
C.
This D goes where?
C.
C, or we, if you're French. And G sharp. And B? Yes, and the G sharp could also go to the E, and I don't know who did that. Let's see if I can even play this. We do keyboard style only in sophomore theory, but I don't want to get into that now. Pianisboro Company. Is it time to quit yet? No. Where did that come? I cannot see that. You think I know what I've done? No. Come on now. Little extra sauce there. We'll do that correctly just fine. Any questions about that?
Nope.
Just take the test. Wait, is the test there? Is the question?
Do we have any more
Kidding
examples?
me? Are you kidding me? I thought I was sitting here to take. Oh, there's a camera?
Woo! We could do a passing 6/4 chord on the second beat. Dun, 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 dun. All right. I like to recycle when I can, so we're going to keep these bar lines.
I really the theory of
Okay, you can work on your own, see if you get the same result as I do. I'm going to start with this voicing here, so let's all at least start in the same place. Now, lovely, lovely bass line to begin. Now, and we have this, my measures always get smaller. Okay, to me, this would be a very nice example of a passing 6/4 chord, don't you think? So this is my figured bass, just like that. Okay, so what are the three things that happen in a dissonant 6/4 chord that is a passing 6/4 chord? Yes?
A voice exchange?
Yes. Okay, so this goes 1, 2, 3. This goes 3, 2, 1. So the voice exchange happens like that. Now, what does the other voice do? We have a static voice, right? And an amber. Now, that's passing 6/4 chord. And we'll get the opportunity to do this about a zillion times in sophomore theory. That all sounds like something you've heard before in your childhood. It was, not until I was an adult, because I was raised by wolves as a child, and I didn't see humans until I was 16. Then I became a vegan.
What kind of music?
I really wasn't raised by wolves. I was raised by Southern Baptist parents. Other challenges for that.
Are you a vegan?
I am a vegan, but only since 1980. Before that, I was not. I could tell you 3 facts. I'm a vegan. I do yoga every day, and I practice the piano on a regular basis, and I write music.
Firework?
I know good.
I know y'all hear it.
We have to go to one spot. Would you like it to be there or around the fountain?
And we came in and
I don't know.
saved my day.
Me too, thank you.